So on Saturday, Posties Rejects had another away day. We visited the Broadside Show at its new venue. Now, we always run a demo game at Broadside, and this is the game that should have happened in the summer, but of course, as you know, Broadside was delayed, so Richard had a little bit longer to prepare the game, and it was Richard that wrote the rules, painted the figures, even built some of the terrain, so this is entirely down to him, and it was such a good game. We've played this now 3 times, so we played it in the Shed of War a couple of times to practice, and on the day we thought we'd get 2 versions of the game done in a day, but actually we spent so long talking to people, it stretched the game out over the course of the day, and that worked out just perfect. We had a lot of engagement from the public. It was really good. The feedback we had, lots of interest, people coming back multiple times to see what was going on. Lots of interests in Richard's rule set, so he wrote a set of rules for this particular game. I'm not sure whether he's quite ready to publish them yet, but lots of people interested in the rules that we were using. And we've, like I say, we've played this game out a few times now, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. It's worked out really well. And we're going to be trying to play the game again, or use those rules again in January, but with some different scenarios to further play test the rules. But of course there wasn't just us there were other demo games, and we didn't have a lot of time really to look around. We literally ran around in the last hour or so of the show to have a quick look at the other tables. Some really nice and interesting looking games. It's a pity we didn't have longer to really sort of dwell on it and have a look at their tables, but we'd been so busy at our table chatting to people that just getting away so that we could look around was really difficult. But that was great. It's part of the fun of doing Broadside. So as I say, some really interesting looking games, lots of variety this year. So there was some skirmish games, sci-fi games, fantasy games, there was board games at one end of the hall, even some live action role players walking around the hall attracting attention, and lots of families and children being brought into the show, which was really good. It was good to see the show was actually busy. We were really concerned that, given the recent reintroduction of certain measures due to COVID and obviously fears over the new variant, that actually we was expecting the show to be really quiet, but as it was, only one trader couldn't make it due to COVID reasons, and one club wasn't able to turn up because someone had it. So actually the hall was pretty much full, although the tables were very well spaced out, and there was a lot of public. I was chatting to one of the organisers, and he was saying that that they'd had visitor numbers comparable to a normal year, so that was really good. So the hall felt like it had plenty of buzz, but it wasn't loud and echoey, because the new hall that we're using, not only is it nice and tall, but it has soundproofing on the walls and excellent lighting, so it wasn't that sort of echoey sports hall feel that we normally get. An excellent venue, and I really hope that, well, I know that they have booked it again for the summer, and I hope that Broadside continues there. Partly a selfish reasons, it's easier for me to get to, easier for all of the rejects to get to for that matter, but just an excellent venue, and big enough to allow for some expansion of the show and more traders in future years. As I say, there were some really interesting games. I apologise to anyone that I didn't get to chat to in great detail. We just really didn't have the time, which is great. It's a great part of doing Broadside. As I say, there were some really interesting games down on the table, lots of variety being played out, so it was really quite good to see all of that, and everyone seemed to be having such a good time. You know, as usual, just great to be out of the house and practicing our hobby and bringing different people together. The show ended at 4, and we were set up and ready for people to view right up till then, but with 7 members of the rejects there, it didn't take us long to pack up, and we were on the road by about 4:30, which was fantastic. I had another event to go to later in the evening, a family party, so I had a hell of a lot of driving still ahead of me, and unfortunately my day ended on a sour note because my clutch broke and I ended up doing my return journey from the family party on the back of a recovery vehicle. So a very long day by the time I got home, but nonetheless, despite the hiccup with the vehicle, a brilliant day out.